Today we're at Salem Hospital in the Community Health Education Center. I'm with Theis, who's the Vice President of Marketing. She's going to share a great recipe with us that you could have any time of the year. So tell us a little bit about what we're going to make.
Great. We're going to make crispy chicken tenders with a spicy Creole mustard.
Okay.
It's a recipe I've been making probably for about 20 years, and it's a family favorite and always a hit and always requested from my friends.
All right, a crowd pleaser. So what are the ingredients that we're going to be using?
The ingredients we're going to be using, it's the usual 3-step process for breading a chicken. We've got a dry area with flour, onion powder, garlic powder, and pepper.
Okay.
Then we've got an egg milk wash. And then the batter, the coating, which is the really unique part, gives it a little bit of a sweet taste. We've got Cap'n Crunch cereal and cornflakes.
Ah, so that's what makes it a little bit different.
So that makes it a little different, so it's sweet then with the spicy sauce.
Okay, so you already did the Cap'n Crunch here, so we're ready to...
Right. We're ready to do the cornflakes. Takes us just a second. There we go. You want to leave it a little bit crumbly so that your coating gets a nice little texture.
Okay, great.
And we add that in and stir it together.
So while you're putting this together, tell me a little bit about the Community Health Education Center.
Yes, this center was opened a couple of years ago as a resource to the community for anybody who wants to have more variety in the types of foods they cook or learn more about healthy eating, but also provides programming for people with diabetes or heart disease. So it's really helpful for some of our patients as well.
That's great. That's great. So okay, so we're almost ready there. So then we just got the first dry.
Yep, we're dry ingredients. We're adding our flour, we're adding our onion powder and our garlic powder and a little bit of salt. So you've got a nice spice and seasoning as a base for your chicken. I usually typically try to have one hand dry and one hand wet.
Okay.
And my husband actually cleaned these chicken tenders for me last night and took all the tendons out of them. So these will be very nice and tender.
Don't like that one little piece otherwise.
Don't like that one little tendon. Yep, this makes them really nice. And I'll do a couple of these and we drop them in here. Coat them with that little bit of batter.
And then you said you let them sit for a little bit before we...
I let them dry and set up because they fry a little nicer.
Okay.
But you can see how they look. They've got that real nice crispy coating and
looks good. All right,
they're just delightful.
Let you do a few more and then we'll get to frying.
Okay.
So, and I guess I was jumping ahead a little bit. We actually make the sauce first, right, before we start the frying.
Absolutely.
And why do you like to do that first?
I like to have it rest a little bit. In fact, often when I make this, I'll make it a day or two ahead because as it sits in the fridge, the flavors all meld together.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what do we have here?
We have everything in the kitchen sink.
It's a lot, but having it already, it's really quick.
Having it already. We have green onions, garlic, red pepper, celery, and some onion. And then we mix those together, and we'll do that in a second. Then we have mayonnaise, mustard, red wine vinegar, water, cider vinegar, hot horseradish, cayenne, actually that's Tabasco, Worcestershire sauce, and hot mustard.
All right, let's get started.
Okay. I add my vegetables first and get those pureed in the blender, and then we add the sauces.
Okay.
So we'll get these things chopped up quickly. And it usually just takes a few seconds. I leave them a little bit chunky.
So you're not trying to make it just in a puree?
Not a complete puree. I like having a little bit of texture.
Okay.
And then we'll add
everything else goes in?
Everything else goes in. So we'll add all these other ingredients.
I understand, like some of the classes you have ethnic classes, fall harvest, all different types?
We do. We teach healthy cooking. We like to use ingredients that teach people to cook local. But we've done Italian and Moroccan and Mediterranean, just a whole host of things. We've got a great group of chefs here that teach all kinds of things in the community.
Well, let's get the rest of this in, and then you'll give it a whirl, and then we'll have a taste when you're done there.
Absolutely. There, it looks like it's done now. We get to taste it.
All right.
I heard you like spicy food, so I'm anxious to hear what you think of this.
All right. It's spicy, but it's good.
You can taste the garlic. I think I'm going to add a little cayenne pepper and just give it one last little shot, just to give it a little extra heat. And we're good.
All right, now we can get to frying.
Now we can get to frying.
All right. So the dangerous part, a little bit of oil in there. So how hot is the oil and how long do they take to cook?
You get the oil to about 325 degrees and they take about 3.5 minutes.
Okay, so that's really quick. What if you got a big crowd though and you need to make a lot? What can you do?
You can actually make them ahead. I've made them earlier in the day or even the day before and then reheat them in a warming oven or a light oven to crisp them up.
All right, so we actually have some finished ones over here.
We do.
So we're going to have the recipe online at fusionnw.com, and we'll also have a link to the classes here at Salem Hospital. And I'm ready to give this a try because I'm thinking this might be the recipe for me for Super Bowl Sunday.
Well, that's great. I'm ready to try it too.
All right. Thank you very much, Ann. Very good.